Greetings, my friends. This is Jules Mansillon. I'm coming to speak about spirituality. It's a great privilege to be a revelator of truth for many, many centuries. Whoever tried to bring up some higher truth was persecuted, but we're coming into the age of Aquarius, and now it is the mission of all the incarnated light workers, starseeds, to share, to anchor, to assume certain more responsibility. And so I want to discuss certain ideas. First, I want to thank you for your presence. I want to thank you for your donations, and I want to thank you for supporting the channel. If you want a private session, you can send me an email. I wanted to discuss the fact that Spirit is always announcing things before they come. They always have a foresight to see, and they announce, but sometimes it's only breadcrumbs. Sometimes I feel my soul is like not giving me all what I want. And so there is always, as we tune into our intuition, we tune into to the frequency of that higher self. We're receiving information to prepare us. So stay in touch with your intuition, read the signs, and listen to your heart, and follow your highest passion. Follow it. This is the truth. This is really what you came here to express, to experience your highest passion. The challenge is to let go of all possible outcome, to let go of all the outcome, to follow your passion, and then let it go. Let the universe, the higher self, bring out the proper outcome. So it is a challenge. And we need to understand the information from the Akash. The Akash can be experienced from our DNA. There is all the non-coding DNA is actually, it is coded, but we haven't opened it. So this Akash is always there, this cellular memory, just as the blood is always flowing, and then there is the electromagnetic pulses from the heart that is always bringing the information from the Akash, the memory, into the brain to be analyzed and placed into context. So this Akash is also the halls of the Amenti below the pyramid. Is a great cosmic library for this, like on the astral planes. There is also access to the Akash, and on the higher realm there is access to the cosmic realm, the galactic realm, and then on the celestial planes there is also an Akash. Just on Paradise there is also the Earth Akash. I was shown that. I wasn't allowed to enter the library, but I saw the facade. It's still there was some mystery around that, but it was still very interesting. It's still very young. The planet. So this Akash is very interesting because it's like looking into a holographic scene. For right now, we're living into a movie. The movie is about to end. It's like it was really like this amazing story, but now it's about to end and a new story is about to begin. And the Akash is a little bit like a holographic story. It's not something we want to interact with. Something we want to see, like a museum, like you don't want to interact with your past, the people in your story when you're showing that. It's through the third eye. Everything is being revealed through the third eye. You want to decalcify your third eye, ask for the light to clear it up, and avoid fluorite, of course. And so this Akash is really, sometimes I see this through my third eye. I think it's happening in real time, but no, I'm looking into the Akash of someone else or something. They're showing me things. So it's like I know the ins and outs. I say my emotional problem with this person came from a life where I was a Roman emperor. I think it was like, that's what they showed me. So hopefully this will be clear and we'll find peace. Both she and I will find peace. But so this Akash is really where the key is. Once we know all of this, the ins and outs, we will be completely and in the knowing of that. And there is also the living Akash, which is recording angels that are. That are also holding the recording everything. So there's many ways to access the information. Your God self, of course, can reveal anything at any time. For God is beyond limitation and can do anything. It's completely free. For everything happens through the third eye. It's very important to clear up the 6th and 7th chakra. I'm going to pull a card. And because history will repeat itself until the lesson is learned. And we're going to go in circle. As long as the lesson is learned, life will repeat itself. Thank God we're coming at the end of a great story that started during the Orion War. And now we're closing these Orion parameters, this desire to conquer, this desire to force, this desire to bridge duality, to move beyond duality into the realm of love and light. But from the Akash, we can get the information that we need from the soul level, and the soul, our soul, my soul. Sometimes I'm like, I want to integrate what my soul has, because the soul has access to the cosmic mind, the great God of time and space, the supreme being. So we have an escapee, it's the thinker. It's to start putting our plans, to have plans, to already have plans in relationship to the next step, and prepare yourself, take notes, prepare yourself. And because we have to realize that everybody, without exception, always believe they're doing the best for everybody. Even the darkest force, it's always been like that. Everybody believes they're doing the best in relationship to what they have and what they believe. And so sometimes there was civilization that tried to utilize force, brutality, violence to impose their beliefs, because they believe that was the way to go about it. Personally, I'm all about unity consciousness, what's above duality, the love of God, who is the producer of the great cosmic drama. That is my highest perception, to understand God is the producer, it is the director. He writes all the story, he is the actor and the actresses, he's putting on the light, he's doing everything in truth. And we feel like we're participating because we are that which is. But it is beyond good and evil, beyond darkness, beyond dark and light. It is something that is far greater than anything we can actually suspect. I'm going to pull one card of the Akash. It is the monk or the nun. It's really about letting go of all vows of poverty, of celibacy that we ever made, in order to embrace the passion and the fulfillment of our life, as well as not to disperse our energy. There is a time for everything. So it's about to know how to discipline your mind, and sometimes abnegation can be really good as well. Unless you're a monk, there is no need for this poverty or this celibacy or anything like that. So it's about enjoying our life. But there is always the mirror of life. There is always this supreme intelligence that surrounds all experiences, the mirror of life, and that always mirror back and keep us on track once we are able to utilize the forces of reflection to hear that which is not on the facade, but comes from the depths, from the great collective I am presence, or the reflective spirit of the universe, or the adjustant, or there is so many forces in the universe, and everybody's, even your guides can interact through anybody you meet. They can send you messages, or a television show, a movie from the 50s, the actor can send you a personal information in relationship to something you've been looking for. And God is not, everything is beyond. God will use all things, the past, present, future, and so we do have to adjust day by day, moment by moment, to whatever is being proposed in relationship, and to sign on self, be true to ourselves, to our principle, to our value. There is three great models of reality in the universe. The Lyrian model, which is the expansion, the outside world, that they've created they implanted all those civilizations long ago. They created the earth beings, and directly, because they created the Orions, they created the Syrians humanoid, they created the Pleiades, they created all kinds of civilization for the expansion of the universe, the founders. And then there is the model of Vega, which is more like the Tibetan monks, which is purely about returning to the source within. And that was the key to solving the puzzle of the Orion Wars. And then there is the balance model of Arcturus, which is both internal and external, which is, sometimes we wish like the universe would have been created just with that, but it's not the case, because it needed to grow and expand, and there's a great deal of dynamism between the forces. But we're really coming to an end to this great long story that started millions of years ago in the Orion Wars. We're closing the Orion parameters, the trauma of the reptilian mind as well. So the inner work that we make is really what makes the whole show move forward. It's really all happening. The most powerful thing we can do is to do this inner work, to be in touch with our inner self, more than outer action. Although, I want to talk about that, but although once we've taken the red pill many times, we awaken, as in the Matrix, for those who everybody knows the image now, the red pill to awaken, to come out of the matrix. Now we want to take a blue pill. I'm really looking for this blue pill to reintegrate the matrix with my memory, with my lucidity, just as the Buddha renounced impure, renounced ignorance, to move into the nirvana, the serenity of nirvana, the permanence of nirvana, where all is pure, all is light. But then God sent him back to samsara because he needs to integrate both the pure and the impure, the light and the dark, to be on the frequency of truth. Because they all exist for a purpose, and the pure and the impure. There is the gross and the refined. There is always like something that's gross and refined. Like arrogance is gross. It's very like they need to always be above everybody else. But humility is the same thing, but it's the refined, it's the elegant, the refinement of arrogance, because humility takes possession of all things. God is, by placing his will under ours, he takes possession of the whole universe. So it's like God experienced on all levels. So it's beyond our ability to speak it out. But and all the lower levels exist for a purpose, regardless of what we think, or what we believe, or what we. So do not judge. And for this this collective awakening is completing that process that started with the Orion War. It's the final freedom, and although we've been already sent, from what I understand, I don't have access to those Akash so far, but we've done it as light workers. We were already sent to 3D world, and we already participated in early ascension, and that's why we were chosen for this mission, which is very difficult, not easy, at least not always. So we want to come back into the world with our lucidity to assess the world. We're not here to become monks or to retreat into some monastery and to withdraw from the world. But sometimes we need to do that for a time. And so understanding that we've all been, as we had hundreds and hundreds of lives on this planet, and we all been part of the dark elites. We tried that, and I know for myself, it's like most of all my incarnation were dedicated to serving the light, but we had to try that. So do not judge, because it's like we don't know, and so sometimes it's like we see some really dark things, and it's pushing buttons within ourselves. We become like infuriated, but in truth, is maybe we've done that. We might have done that in the past. We might have been the great inquisitor in the Spanish Inquisition. Who knows? But just on Atlantis, the same thing. We were incarnated with the Atlara, this great matriarchal society, spiritual society. But there was the island of Og and Aria. We also incarnated sometime life in this patriarchal Aryan society, which was militarist and patriarchal and hierarchical, warlike civilization. We tried both. They were very businesslike, and the sons of Belials and everything. Well, it's not really my affinity to they've done some really dark things with genetic manipulation and all that at this time. But so we just want to move back into the light. Do not worry about those past lives, but just do not judge those who are exploring the impure, because they're younger souls. Otherwise, they would have never even want to touch that. It's like, not because a child is younger that we need to belittle it. So it's like they're just younger soul, and God knows that, so He will know what to do with it, and that when the time comes, because God is beyond anything we can ever dream and think. This light is so just beyond anything we can even dream or imagine, and if we see it, we couldn't. It has to be gradually spiritualized in order to see it, and I'm very privileged to have had personal contact with the Godheads, but I know God reduced his frequency to be able to talk to me. God can appear to anyone at any time and any form, but it's always the most beautiful experiences. That's the most beautiful experience I've ever had, was when I had this contact with the Godheads. And so it is important to realize also God is everywhere. It is in the space between the atoms, is in the space between the people, is in the time and space that separate all things. So if we can bridge that, if we can bridge, to think of ourselves as like to bridge, to make bridges. And but when I talked about the ability, maybe we've had life in the dark, we had to explore that. It means do not judge, be above judgment and condemnation. For there is three great families in our cosmic reality. One is the family of love that's essentially centralized on Andromeda. One is the family of light that's essentially centralized in in the Milky Way galaxy, and then the family of power that's essentially centralized in the Dracos. But that is only about the ascending children of God, because the children of God are one of the seven great families. There is the descending children of God, the Avonal, the Denial, and the Michael, the paradise. And then there's the universal descending sons of God, the Melchizedek, the Lanonandek, the Varonandek, and the life carriers. And we're part of the ascending. Then there is the trinitized sons of God that are revealed. But so it is, the celestial universe is far greater than anything we can, we'll discover that as we ascend. So seek, when you look for the Creator, it's all about the highest quality, the most beautiful. It's always there where God can be found. And His whole plan, nobody in heaven knows the whole plan of God. On paradise, we know that only the infinite Spirit knows the plan of the Father and the Son. And even in heaven, they follow the impulses of that prime Creator, of the Supreme Being that guides their step. But they don't claim that they know everything. But there's a place that only God knows. Even on paradise, there is a great mystery. The God holds mysteries for future evolution, and we just seek to align with it, to flow with the flow, to accept, to trust, and to of course go with what is ethical and moral, morally acceptable. And Madame Marie, the great ascended master, was recommending that we use a cloth. Every morning we wake up, we use this cloth of light. It's an invisible, it's not physical. We put this cloth and there is a hood, and we activate it from our heart, and this will protect our aura. It is kind of important, and before we go to sleep, we have to remove it. And so just activate your spiritual cloth. You can put it on and activate it. The card of the day is the turning point. It's a solar return. It's this eclipse that we just passed through. So really going to a turning point. It's the end of a chapter, the end of a story, and we're about to start a new story. Pull a card. And well, we have celebration today. This the intimacy, the celebration, the festivity, the sharing. It's a lot of. There is a lot. After all we've been through, there's going to be a lot of celebration that will be coming. So I hope this message was interesting for you. I'm going to sing a song and pull out a few more cards. It's a song that that talks about the sound of silence. For silence is the great prophet. Most everything is revealed within the silence. So it is important to take the time to breathe and to make silence in your mind, to allow your thoughts and emotion, to observe your thoughts and emotion for a while until they come down. And then there is cracks within the consciousness and light can come down. It's called the sound of silence. It goes like this. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Because a vision softly creeping left its seed while I was sleeping. And the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walk alone, narrow streets of cobblestone. 'Neath the halo of a street lamp, I turn my collar to the cold and damp. When my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never shared, and no one dared disturb the sound of silence. Fool, said I, you do not know. Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words like silence raindrops fell and echoed in the wells of silence. And the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made, and the signs flashed out its warning in the words that it was forming. And the sign said the words of the prophets are written on a subway wall, and tenement halls, and whispered in the sound of silence. Beautiful song from Paul Simon. And so we'll finish that. I will finish there. I thank you so very much for your donations. I thank you so very much for supporting the channel. And I thank you for your presence. It's very important that we stand to be counted. When we call and our name is called, just stand up and say, yes, I am. The observer of the day is happiness. It's about the celebration that are coming. It's like, the highest wisdom is the dreams. The dreams that dreams can only come true. There is no other choice. We're not going to let our dreams slip away. We want our dreams to come true. We want to believe in this manifestation. And when they're going to come, they're going to be, people will be surprised. There's all kinds of shock that will be coming into society. That depending on our level of consciousness, we'll be receiving those new energies. But there is a need for this enlightenment, this collective enlightenment. And there is enough people that want it as well, and they want to be free. So what we need to understand is the balance and the equilibrium. What we need to do is overcoming doubts. And the outcome will be communication. We're going to have communication, very important communication that are going to be coming to us, and we're going to be continuing to communicate on this light frequency. So once we overcome the doubts, we find the solution. We find compassion. And we find friendship. For friendship is the essential value. It's what God needs to be your best friend. The masters needs to be your best friend. The archangels, but even humans, we have this human community. We need to. Although I understand Aristotle said, "We who is friend to all is friend to none." But we do. Or Seneca was saying, or it was Plutarch maybe was explaining that if you have too many friends, your real friend will feel neglected. So just. Certain people that are closer to us, yet we want to be friendly to life. We want to be like a master. The masters are always friendly to all life. So it is very important to develop. Epicure thought friendliness was the highest human value, because that's really what we came here. And then if we have friends and families are very important, very essential to our well-being, and we're going to continue to expand that circle of friends. Well, I hope you're having a good day. I thank you so very much, and I'll talk to you later. Adonai.